Welcome to our class, Therapeutic, gentle class. And our topic today is diving into the Yoga Sutras. We talked about a little bit about that last week, about what the Yoga Sutras are. And the first two sutras are really key in setting the foundation for the practice of yoga. So the first Yoga Sutra says that we should be committed to the practice of yoga. So the idea that that it takes time, right, for things to transform and change. So things don't happen overnight. Things don't change overnight. If we want real and lasting positive change, we need to work at it over time. So the idea, according to my teacher, one of the definitions of yoga is to take us from a place of one kind of patterning that's not helpful for us to a new kind of patterning that is helpful to us. In yoga, we call these patterns samskaras, and some we're kind of born with, or we take on really early in childhood, and some are habits that we have over time. The second sutra tells us that the way to a feeling of peace or contentment, or what they call a state of yoga, is really to work with the mind, to bring the mind into focus, and to clean the mind, so to speak. Not really clean the mind, but to clean the filter that we see things through. So I talked about these conditionings or samskaras or habits or patterns, conditioning of our mind that happens all through our lives. And it's like a filter that forms between our mind and the world outside. So then what starts to happen is all of those conditions that we have, those preconceived notions we see the world through those. So if something's happening over here, say someone says something to us, it goes through our filter before it comes into our mind. So the idea is that we can keep that filter clean so we see things as they are. So for instance, if someone has a story that they're not good enough, right? And here's the filter, someone over here says, oh, I wondered about something that you said or did. And then immediately you hear, you're not good enough. You did this wrong. Instead of just, I have a curiosity and a question. So when we can clean that mirror of the mind, or lens, I guess, more than a mirror, we start to see things more clearly as they are, and we let go of what we believe is going to happen, what we think is going to happen. And that lets us let go of some of those patterns that hold us hostage and allow us to see and be with things as they are. So we're going to work with the mind, and the idea is just to really notice our minds as they are. So, often when we're doing yoga and we're practicing meditation, the instruction is always keep coming back to your breath, bring your focus back, bring it back. And today I invite you to just let your mind be a monkey, go wherever it wants to go, and notice. So we're kind of establishing what is our mind like when we don't try to control it. Where does it like to go? What's going on? And we're going to use the breath just to keep bringing a more settled kind of feeling into the body, and see if that has some effect on the mind. Just be really curious, right? There's no preconceived notion that we breathe in this way and the mind does that. It's just a big experiment to see what works for us. Right? Some practices work for some and not for others. So we're getting to know ourselves a little more through the practice today. So we're going to start seated. You can sit in a chair or on the floor, couch or bed, or wherever you want to be. I'm going to sit on a chair. So I'll see you over on the mat. Get the screen in a better place here. Full disclosure, this is the second time I'm teaching this class today, because I forgot to record it the first time. So if you joined me live earlier, this may not be the same class that we did this morning. It's always a little different according to what comes up in the moment. So just so you know. So let's come to sit in a comfortable position. You want to make sure that you're not counting on whatever's behind you to support you. So you're not kind of slumped back into your chair, but using your own structure to support you as much as possible. Feet ideally flat on the floor, so you don't have your legs crossed. If you're sitting in a chair, they can certainly be, you can be cross-legged if you're on the ground. Weight even on both sit bones. And let's take a moment to notice the room that you're in. So just take a moment to glance around and be aware of your surroundings. Notice what you're aware of. I'm aware of a lot of noise coming from the other room. I hope you can't hear it as well. That's drawing my awareness right now. I'm also noticing the sun coming in some of the windows. My cat wandering around. And then to start to bring your attention more inward, more into or more towards you, to the periphery of your body. So notice your skin, maybe the fabric of your clothing touching your skin, or perhaps there's some air movement that you can feel. You may feel the pressure of your sit bones or your feet on the chair or the ground. And then start to bring the awareness in a little more. So focusing now on your breath and the way that the body moves with the breath. And then tune into your mind. So, all through this check in, your mind may have been drifting in and out, but now let's take a moment to really focus on where the mind is going. And it's not about controlling anything, just like when we were focusing on the breath, it's not about controlling the breath, but noticing the movements of the mind. It may help you to close your eyes if you haven't closed your eyes already. We're not trying to control anything, just letting the mind wander and noticing where it goes. We'll take about a minute with this. And then let's switch focus again and tune into your mood or emotional state. Notice if any emotions are present. You might experience your emotions as thoughts. You might experience your emotions as sensations in the body. So notice what's true for you as you check in. What are you aware of? And if there's not much to notice, notice that as well. And then let all of that go. So just taking a mental note of that check-in, where you were at, and we'll check in again later. So now let's take the hands and rotate the wrists. We'll do a little warm up for the joints. Rotating one way and then the other. Great. And then you can take the palm of one hand up toward the ceiling and press back gently with the fingers to stretch across the wrist. forearm, other side. And then take the backs of the hands together, a little pressure, very gently. And then turn the fingertips up, palms together. Again, a little pressure. Feel the strength across the shoulders, the arms, the chest, upper back. Let your heart lift a little. And then releasing the arms down to your sides. Let's lift the shoulders with the breath in. And then as you exhale, roll the shoulders down and back and maybe make your exhale a little longer than your inhale. So inhale, lift. Exhale, roll down and back. Right, and then arms to the sides. Take the palms out. Take a breath in, lift the arms up. Bring your palms together overhead. Exhale, and bring the arms down. And let's try that with maybe making the inhale normal length. Exhale, perhaps a little more slowly. Follow your own breath. It may be quite different from what you're seeing me doing on your screen. That's fine. This time stopping when the hands come to the center of the chest. Pausing there. So keep working with the wrists a little bit, bringing the palms to face the floor, backs of the hands together, fingers roll in. And let's come out to Anjali Mudra. We talked about that last week. Anjali Mudra being the second part of Patanjali, the author of the Yoga Sutras. And it's this gesture of hope, really, of waiting for what we need to land. So you might take a moment and just think about what you want, what you need right now. It could be, something simple but very profound at this time, the desire to hug a loved one or to be in the presence of a loved one, or whatever it is that you would love to have right now. Just imagine that coming into your hands. And then let's bring that to the heart by bringing the backs of the hands together, down, around, palms together like we're holding that thing now and bringing it to the heart. And pause here. Breathe it in. Then we'll take the hands, lift them up, breathing in. Exhale and release. So keep working with making the exhale a little longer than the inhale. For this one, we'll take the arm out to the side. We'll turn to look, breathing in, and then exhale, follow the hand as it comes back down to the legs slowly. Inhale, look the other way. Exhale, follow the hand back down slowly. Inhale is a normal inhale, normal length. Bringing a little more length if possible without straining to the exhale. Right, the last two we'll do with both arms, breathing in. And then nice, easy, slow exhale. You never want to strain, even with the exhale, to make it as long as you can. It's just how it naturally goes, making it a little longer. If you start pushing, forcing, and straining, you're actually doing the opposite of the intention. So the intention is to calm and slow things down, but if we start fighting and pushing, we ramp up the nervous system. There's a perceived threat within the body. Let's move into the flexion and extension of the spine. And again, you can work with a normal inhale, lifting the heart, and then a nice long, slow exhale, really making sure to let the head drop forward. Inhale, regular, exhale, coming forward. Good. Last one, long, slow exhale. And then coming back to a neutral spine. I'm going to work with another way of manipulating the breath, and I invite you to try it. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, go back to the way we normally do it. But the idea is that we're disrupting our normal pattern. So the normal way we breathe, right, is to inhale, lift, exhale, lower. We usually do that at the same rate. So we've already kind of brought a little more awareness to the breath by making the exhale slower. Now we're going to change when we move. So we're only going to move on the exhalation. The inhalation will be stationary. So simple movement like we just did. We'll inhale here. And then exhale as you raise your arms. Stay there and inhale. Exhale and lower your arms. Stay there and inhale. Exhale, lift. Stay there and inhale. Exhale, lower. Try a few more on your own without my guidance or without my instruction. It may be tempting to go back to the usual pattern. Let's see if you can stay with it unless it's creating tension or strain for you. And next time you come back to the starting position with the hands on the thighs, you can stop there. And we'll bring one hand to the seat of the chair, or if you're on the floor, it could be to the floor. You'll lift the other arm and think about the sit bone sinking down as the arm raises up. And we'll go a little to the side on an exhale and back to center on an inhale. It's really almost a micro movement, just a little bit to the side. It's really more about lengthening, pressing down into that sit bone than it is going as far as you can to the side. You'll come back to center on an inhale, over to the side on an exhale. If you like, you can stay a few breaths. Think about lengthening both sides of the torso, relaxing your jaw, your neck, breathing into the long side of your body. And we'll come back and try the other side. So one hand to the floor of the chair, the other arm reaches up. And again, it's just a little bit of movement to the side and back to center. So you're exhaling as you go to the side, inhaling to the center. Again, if you like, you can stay for a few breaths. And then come back up, releasing that arm, bring both hands forward. And we'll lift both arms up with the breath in. Back to the normal way we breathe, exhaling forward and inhaling as you lift. Go at your own pace. If you like, you can make the exhale a little longer if that works for you, but just whatever happens now is just fine. Right. Coming up again and releasing. We'll take one knee, bring it up in towards the body. So it could be, you could keep the foot on the floor, could bring the knee up a little, or you could squeeze it right in. But see if you can do that without rolling back on your seat. If you're sitting on the ground, you might just bring one knee in with the foot on the floor. The other leg could be straight out. Sitting up tall. So if you're in a chair, you can take the knee into the hand on that side, open it to the side. If you're on the floor, you might just let the knee lower to the ground. And then come back to the center. Maybe cross that leg over. So again, on the floor, just bringing the foot to the floor. On a chair, crossing the legs. Maybe leaning into the legs a little. Lifting up, you can pick that knee up, bring it back in front, and then stretch that leg out. Give it a little shake. You can rotate it side to side, so foot turning in and out, and moving right from the hip. Good. And then bringing the foot down, and we'll bring the other knee up. So again, nice and tall, drawing the knee towards you, breathing here, and then knee to the side. Back to center, maybe crossing it over, bringing it on top of the other leg, and adding a bit of forward bend. Coming up, lifting the knee, and then stretching that leg out, give it a little shake, and then side to side. And bring the foot back in under you and bring the feet a little bit apart, hands on the knees. So you want the feet wide so you've got a good stable balance here as we circle the torso. Circling one way and circling the other. Great, and then come back to the center. You can place your feet and hands wherever they're comfortable for you. And we'll take a moment to check in again. So start by noticing the experience of your body, what you're noticing in your body right now, especially the edges where it meets the world around you. Feel the rhythm and movement of your breath. And then tune into the rhythm and movement of your mind. So again, it's not about judging or changing anything, but noticing your thoughts as they pass through uninhibited or uncontrolled. Right, and then let's check in again with the emotions. What's present for you now? What are you aware of? No judgment, no right or wrong. Right, and then when you're ready, we'll come to stand up. And if you're sitting on a chair and you think you might want to use it for some forward bending later, you can bring it towards the front part of your mat and just leave it there for now. And then bringing the feet apart a little ways, bring your hands to your hips, soften your knees, and do a few circles here. So after sitting for a while, just getting some movement a little more into the hips. Going one way and then the other. Right, and back to the center. You can keep the feet wide or bring them in a little bit, and we'll roll the shoulders. So lifting, roll back and down. And we'll coordinate the breath. So inhale, lift. Exhale, roll back and down. Don't rush the movement. Let that exhale be even slower than the inhale. And then you can vary the movement if you like. So you could roll one shoulder and then the other. You could go forward or back. Right, and then coming back to the center, coming to feet underneath the hips in Tadasana. Send the heels down, taking root into the earth. Feel lift through the crown of your head. And we're going to move into a few standing forward bends. So you might want to turn toward your chair if you want the support of the chair, or you might just let your body hinge forward and reach towards the floor if that's better for you. So from here, we're going to lift the arms with a breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees a little, come forward, hands to the chair or legs or floor. Inhale and come up. And let your focus be on really relaxing the neck as you come forward. You can keep the spine long, let the head release. Okay, this time as you come upright, we'll stay upright and release the arms to the sides. And we'll do the exact same movement, but we'll vary the breath this time. So we're only going to move on the exhalation. The inhalation is stationary. So we pause here and inhale. Exhale, lift your arms. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, come forward. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, lift up. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, lower your arms. And again, stay here and inhale. Exhale, lift. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, come forward. Stay here and inhale, relax your head. Exhale, lift all the way up. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, arms down. Stay here and inhale. Exhale, lift your arms. Go at your own pace. If my pace is not right for you, please ignore me and go at your own pace. And letting the arms come to your sides the last time and pausing there. Take a moment again to just a really brief check-in. Feel your body, be aware of your body in space, feel your breath. Be aware of your mind and the movements of your mind, the waves of your mind. And again, any emotion that may be present. So again, we're going to work with a forward bend. This one has one foot ahead of the other, and you can again use the chair, which I'll demonstrate, or you can bring your hands onto your front knee if you prefer. So if we start with the feet together, take a step as if you're just walking. Just a nice easy step. As the back heel lifts, you'll take the foot and turn it to the side. So you've got a really solid, comfortable stance. You can bend your front knee a little. The other option is to keep it straight, but try not to lock the knee if you decide to keep it straight. We'll come back to the way we normally breathe, lifting on an inhale and coming forward on an exhale. So coming up with a breath in. As you exhale, come forward. The hands can come onto your thigh or onto the chair. Try to keep the spine long, with the back of the neck also long and relaxed. It will come up with a breath in, and you take extra breaths whenever you need them when I'm talking. Good. Exhale, come forward, long spine. Inhale, lift. The tendency when we come forward with a long spine is to let the neck crank back and keep looking forward. But I would encourage you to look down and think about the crown of the head reaching away from your tailbone. Let's do one more like this, and then we'll stay for a few breaths. So when you're staying, the top of your head reaching away from the tailbone, there's a little lift in the tailbone if possible. You might need to bend the front knee a bit more. If it's comfortable and it feels like a good stretch to straighten it, go ahead. And then check in with your elbows and shoulders. So you might bend the elbows a little or draw the shoulders back if you feel like you're kind of just sinking into and collapsing in the shoulders. So nice open chest, long spine. Breathing here. And then lifting all the way up. We'll exhale to release and try the other side. So again, it's a nice, easy step forward. The back foot turns out so that you're comfortably and solidly planted on the ground. Little bend perhaps in the front knee or keeping it straight. We'll inhale and lift the arms. Exhale and come forward. Again, keep that little lift in the spine, but lengthen the back of the neck. Come up with the breath in and forward as you exhale. And again, this time, you can stay for a few breaths. Keep a little lift in the tail, openness in the heart, softness in the shoulders and elbows, lengthen the back of the neck, and breathe. When you're ready, come all the way up. Exhaling to release. I'll bring the feet back together or side by side. And lift the arms overhead. And exhale, bring your hands onto your knees. A little bit of a forward bend, letting the body come over the legs. Let your head release. If it's more comfortable to use the chair here, go for it. Coming back up with the breath in. Good. And then we'll release the arms out to the sides. So here, breathing in, we're going to add a twist. Soft knees, take one hand behind, one hand across. And then inhale, center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, center. You're looking towards the shoulder of the arm that's behind you. And it's really just a gentle twist through the upper body. Nothing too strenuous or complicated here. Right, and then last time, we'll come out to the sides, release the arms down. So for this next one, again, it's possible to do this with or without a chair. I'll demonstrate with a chair, but you could also bring the hands to the knees. So we'll start by, again, taking that little step forward, just as we did before, turning the back foot out so that you're comfortably balanced here. We'll take a breath in, lift up, exhale, come forward. We're going to stay in that position, lengthening the spine, reaching out through the crown of the head. If your hands are on your knee, that's fine. You're going to keep the hand that's opposite the front leg on the leg. If your hands are on a chair, you're going to take the hand that's opposite your front leg and move it across the chair to the other side. Turn your body, bringing the hand behind your back. So you're coming into a twist. So it's either hand on the leg, it could be on the floor if you can reach, but finding lots of length in the twist here. When you come back, you'll bring the hands back on either side or both onto the thigh. We'll lift up with a breath in and exhale to release. And then switching sides. Do the same thing over here. Breathing in, coming forward. Really establishing that length in the spine right out through the crown of the head, either taking the opposite hand to the front thigh or across to the opposite side of the chair, bringing the other hand behind your back and turning any amount to the side that feels comfortable and breathing here. If it doesn't feel comfortable to twist, you can always go back to the forward bend. So from your twist, you'll release and then lift up with a breath in and exhale to release the arms down. Bring the feet back together, side by side, and we'll do a few more forward bends dynamically here. So again, you can use the chair or you can reach a little further down as you like. Breathing in to lift up. Exhaling, coming forward. Inhale to lift. And exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Always go at your own pace. So if my breath is different rate than your breath, follow your breath. Ignore me. Right, and we'll come up and stay up, letting the arms come to the sides again. We'll move into a pose called Warrior Two. We take the feet a little bit wider. And I would invite you to take the feet as wide as you like. So the narrower your stance is, the easier the pose is. The wider your stance is, the more challenging the pose is. And it's really up to you how much you want to work here. So I'm going to take my feet just a little bit wider. And you'll turn one foot out all the way to the side, and the knee also points in the same direction. So when you bend the knee, it will come straight out over the ankle. The other foot, I like to turn in a little bit. You know, some people like to turn it in a lot. Others like it to be straight or turned out a bit. So you find the position of your, we'll call this the back leg, this the front leg. So the bent knee is the front knee. Find a position for your back leg that's comfortable. And then make sure you're strong through your ankle. So there's a tendency to kind of roll out on that ankle. Press into the inner edge of your foot and pull all the way up into the hip with that engagement of the leg. And then the other knee is over the ankle. If you want to work harder, as I said, take the legs further apart and that sinks you down a little more. If you want to work less, take the feet a little closer and that will make this leg a little straighter, a little less effort. Arms to the sides. So reaching out through the fingertips. Turn your head to look over your front hand, so the hand that corresponds to your bent leg. And we'll stay for a few breaths. So we'll stay for more than a few breaths, in fact. We're going to pause here and find the effort of warrior without the tension or stress creeping in ideally, but that you feel that there's some effort when we hold the pose for a little bit. And then in that effort, notice what stories come into your mind. Do you get angry? Do you get upset with yourself? Do you just quit? What happens? So I invite you to stop the pose anytime it feels like there's tension or strain. But if you can stay and really notice what's going on, stay a little longer. We're going to add some movement. So we'll come down to one side, we'll sweep that arm down, the other one arm sweeps up and over. So there's sort of these bent, almost ballet arms. And then coming up, we'll go the other way. So it's arms sweeping one way and the other. And it's just a little bit of a side bend. It's not a big movement here, just like when we were sitting on the chair with the side bend. It's really quite small. The legs and the lower body stay in the same position as the upper body moves. Good, you can come back to center. If your arms are getting tired, by all means lower them. If you can stay there without building tension, stay there with the effort of the pose. Again, this is a therapeutic class, so it's not about forcing your body to do things that it's not willing or ready to do, but inviting some effort, but letting go of the tension. So let's straighten the front leg, bring the feet parallel to one another. We'll turn the palms to the ceiling and lift the arms slowly up, breathing in. And then as you exhale, bend your knees. You can bring your hands to your knees or forearms onto your thighs. Let your head release down. Take a breath or two here. Just a little bit of a break before we do the other side. We'll come all the way up, reaching slowly with the arms overhead. And then taking the arms to the sides again. We'll turn the palms to the ground. We'll turn the other foot out now. Bend the knee. So you can, again, adjust the back leg to whatever feels comfortable for you and check that you're really keeping that knee over the ankle so it's not twisting inwards towards the inside of your foot, which is quite common. Maybe put a little bit of extra weight into the outer edge of your foot if you feel that happening. Right, so you might feel your arms getting tired. If you feel like you're building a lot of tension, lower them down or give them a little break for a moment. It's fine. You might notice the story you tell yourself there. You know, for some people, lowering the arms is like failing, right? So as far as I'm concerned, it's not at all failing. But what is the story? Where does your mind go? What is your pattern? That's what we're trying to get at here, right? Not being perfect. That's not the goal. Right? Arms to the sides still or again, and we'll sweep one way and the other way. Don't worry about the breath here. Of course, do keep breathing. There's no particular way you should breathe here. Just letting the breath flow. Right, and then we'll make our way back to Warrior Two. Move the front leg straighter. Turn the feet parallel. Turn the palms up. Take a few breaths to slowly raise your arms. But again, if your shoulders or arms are feeling strained, lower them down. Do what you need to do. Otherwise, lifting the arms up. When you get there, take a breath in. Exhale and sweep forward, either hands to the knees or the ground. Let your head release, and we'll come all the way back up, breathing in. And then again, coming forward. Inhale to lift. And exhale forward. You can stay if you like, either the hands or the elbows on the thighs. Hands could be on a chair or the ground. And again, we'll come all the way up, breathing in. Exhale and release. You can walk your feet in, or step them in together. Coming back to mountain pose. Take a moment, let go of the effort of warrior pose. Let go of the stories or whatever came up for you. Come back to a feeling of sinking through the heels, drawing up into the thighs, a little lift and openness across the heart, down with the shoulders, slightly down with the chin as the crown of the head lifts. Take a few breaths here. Notice the movement of your mind without judgment for another 30 seconds or so. So we're going to make our way down to the ground. So you can come to lie down on your back. And as you come to lie down, you can bring your hands onto your belly. Maybe one hand on the chest, one on the belly, wherever it's comfortable, wherever you can feel a bit of movement with your breath. Breathing in and then exhale completely. Let the exhale be a little longer than the inhale, if that's comfortable for you. And let the breath return to normal. So after our strong standing poses and sitting, we'll do a little movement to release the hips here. So we'll start by bringing both knees up toward the chest. You can do this one leg at a time as well if that's more comfortable for you. We'll take the hands to the knees and draw the knees towards you. And then move the knees away. So you can work with your breath here to exhale as the knees come in. And again, you could make the exhale a little longer. And then normal inhale. Exhale, slow it down. Go at your own breath rhythm. There's no value in trying to be like anyone else. Next time you find your knees in toward your body, you can keep one there and bring the other one to the floor. Holding your hands over or behind the thigh, over the shin or behind the thigh. And if it's comfortable for you, you can also stretch out the leg that you've brought to the floor so that it's straight. Keep it active, whether it's bent or straight. So toes pointing to the ceiling, heel pressing down if your leg is straight, and then relax your shoulders, your face, your neck, your jaw. Find the most easeful expression of this position for you. So you can experiment with where your hands are, how far your knee is, whether the other leg is bent or straight. And then you can add some movement to this leg that you've got up towards your chest. So maybe keeping both hands on the knee as you move the knee side to side or in a circle, maybe moving one hand away to make your circle bigger, or maybe even letting the hand slide away from the knee as you circle. You can go both directions. And eventually coming back to the center. For For this next one, it's easier if the knee is bent, but you're welcome to do this with your legs, the leg that's straight on the ground. If you want to leave it straight, that's fine. You can let go with the hands or hold behind the thigh. And we'll bend and straighten the leg a few times. So I'm going to let go because I find it's a little easier on my neck and shoulders, but that's up to you. I can really focus on the leg. You might leave the leg in the air, flexing your foot. Again, this is much easier with a bent leg on the ground. It's up to you. You can adjust as you need to. And sometimes it's not even that it's easier, it's just more comfortable for whatever reason, whether it's your low back or your legs, your hips. All right, let's bring that knee in and bring that foot to the floor. Other knee comes into the chest now. Again, you can hold over or behind the thigh. You can keep the other leg straight, or you can, or keep it bent, or you can straighten it out along the ground. If you straighten it out, try keeping it active so the heel presses down and there's some engagement up into the thigh. And then really check in what works for you here. Which position for your hands, which position for your leg that's not in toward your body. And then again, add some movement to that hip of the leg that you've got up toward your body. You can do some circles or side to side, big circles, little circles, forward and back, really exploring what feels good in your body. Right, and then eventually coming back to the center. Again, you can hold on or let go as you straighten and bend the leg a few times. It's not about getting as much stretch as you can here, just really working with the joints to find some ease without the weight on them. So when we're standing and we're bending the knees or circling the hips, we've got our body weight over the joint. And here there's much more freedom, much more ease. You can just work that knee joint, find a little stretch maybe in the hamstrings, but also working to strengthen the thigh. Right, and then bring the knee back in toward the body. Foot comes to the floor. Right, and both feet on the floor now. We'll stretch both legs out. Stretch the arms either out to your sides or overhead. Grow long. Take a breath or two here. And then lowering your arms down. Bend the knees. Arms a little away from the body for a gentle twist. So exhale, knees to one side. Inhale to the center. Exhale, knees to the other side. Inhale, center. Go side to side a few times, just like that, at your own pace. You can make that movement small as I am, just sort of halfway down, or if it feels better for you, you could take it into a deeper twist. Really following your own body's wisdom. Right? There's no value in going deeper into a pose that creates strain or tension in the body at all. Eventually you'll come back to the center. You can bring the knees to the chest and repeat that forward and back movement, massaging the low back and bringing it back into alignment after the twist. Exhaling, knees are in. Inhaling, knees are away. Exhaling as you move from away, bringing the knees in. Inhaling as you move the knees away. Right, and then hugging the knees in for a few breaths. Notice if you feel your head hyperextended, you may want to place a pillow or blanket underneath your head, or just be really deliberate about drawing the chin in a little more towards the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. If it's more comfortable, knees can be wider or even feet on the floor here. Couple more breaths. Right, and then take your arms up towards the ceiling. Give your arms and hands a shake. Just let it go. Any stress, imagine you're just shaking it off. And then letting the arms come to the ground. And then you can prepare for our Shavasana or relaxation time. So you might want to add a few more layers of clothing or a blanket. You may want to find a different position or even, get on your couch rather than the floor. So you'll stay lying for Shavasana. Find a comfortable position. And make those little adjustments as necessary so that your body is as comfortable as possible. Come back to your breath, back to the awareness of a little bit longer exhale. And with that longer exhale, feel your body soften and sink down with each breath. Let your eyes soften so your eye sockets relax and the eyes rest back into the sockets. Eyelids soft over your eyes and the space between your eyebrows widening as you let go of that little furrow that gathers there. Soften across your forehead, the skin of your scalp relaxing and releasing. And letting the weight of your head sink down into the ground. Feel your jaw release and the muscles around your mouth soften. Your jaw releasing a little more. Soften down through the shoulders and arms. Feel your arms heavy wherever they're resting and your hands completely relaxed. Let go. Feel the breath moving through your rib cage, and as you exhale, feel the rib cage get heavier. The lower back releasing its tension and the belly softening. Sometimes when there's tension in the lower back, we can trace it to gripping in the belly. So soften the belly, let the back release. Sink down through the pelvis. Feel all the muscles in the back of the pelvis Softening the buttocks, releasing. Feel yourself sink down through the hips even more. The area between your hip bones and the front of your body relaxing. Softening the thighs, the knees. Feel the calves let go and the ankles. And relaxing right down to the soles of your feet and the tips of your toes. Notice where your mind wanders. Just let it go. Just follow it like you're just going down a path, going wherever it opens up in front of you without a care or a worry, just following your thoughts in the same way. You might think of your thoughts as clouds passing by in the sky. There's no need to control them. Just let them go and observe as they pass by. And I'll share with you a chant that is an excerpt from a longer chant called Pavamana Suktam. And the whole chant is all about bringing a kind of calm and lightness to the mind. It recognizes that we all have the ability to have a busy monkey mind. And we also all have the ability to bring the mind to focus. It takes time, it takes practice, but it is possible. And this chant gives us hope for that possibility. Om Pavamana Suvarjanaha Pavitrena Vicharshani Yah Potasa Punatuma Punantuma Deva Janaha Punantumanavodiya Punantu Vishwa Ayavaha Jata Veda Pavitravate Pavitrena Punahima Pavamanya Punantuma Prajapatyam Pavitram Om. Again, tune into the movements of your mind. Be curious and non-judgmental. Gradually let your breath deepen a little bit. If you choose to spend more time in Shavasana, you're welcome to just ignore my instructions and maybe turn off the recording, stay where you are. And if you're ready to move on, you can start to deepen your breath, wiggle your fingers and toes, stretch and move your body in whatever way would feel good. Take your time. When you're ready, you can roll onto your side, come to sit. If you're comfortable to sit on the floor, you can stay there or come to sit wherever you're comfortable. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. And thank yourself for taking the time to do this practice today. Maybe notice any effect that it may have had on your body, your breath, your mind, or your emotions. Namaste.